We have a lot of pairs to play with, and we just need a few to collect these pips this week. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time and just browse through. So you might hear me quiet for a little while, just in my zone. I'm going to, when I get back to the 4 hour, I'm going to start analyzing. But for the day chart, I'm just going to basically look at it. And I'm going to change the colors on the pairs to let me know that something is near the zone. And this is what I probably need to focus on this week. All right, so boom, 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 boom. And I also share the charts once we find some setup, or at least what I'm anticipating. Once I find something, I draw it up, I'm going to share the chart so that you guys can have access to it just to see how it play out if you never took one of my trades. All right, so ACAD, you can see the price broke this zone, struggling here. So I could look for price to potentially make a push up, give us a pullback here before it starts to drop. And then this area here will be what we're looking at this week. But when we get down to the 4 hour, we can look at it a little bit better. So I'm going to mark ACAD just to keep an eye on it. Let's go red. Looking at the overall picture, see price came with this area that I have here marked up, support, 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 another wick here. So we could potentially see price make a move to the upside. May come back here before dropping again, giving us a retest. It's a potential setup. Again, I will analyze a little bit further once we get on the 4 hour chart. I just want to extend this. I'm going to extend this trend line to the right. Just to see how price play along this area. Potential support here. AUD CHF, potential setup. AJ, price broke this zone, never really gave us a retest. And so I looking for price to come back up to this zone to give us that confirmation for us to ride it down. We never got a retest here. We can see the price found resistance, found support. So I want price to show us resistance again before we hop in and sell. All right. So once we get this confirmation here, this would be the indicator to say, okay, we now know where the ceiling is. Let's sell it all the way down to the floor, and this would be the previous floor. Just going back, looking at this area, you can see the resistance, 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 a lot of resistance. So it's pretty strong. I just want price to show me what it wants to do before we actually pull the trigger. If you don't want to miss the move, you can always set a sell stop. You can always set a sell stop below, but I want to get a tighter entry, so I want price to come up. Guys, please stop drawing on the screen. Thank you. Looking for price to come up, come down. Could set a sell stop, but we're on the day chart, so I am going to mark this one as well, just to keep an eye on it. We get this confirmation, we can ride it down. AN, looking at the day, the price came here to this zone with this wick. Price came here on the wick. So when we look at it on the 4 hour, the 4 hour might be showing us some kind of trend where price is going to go back up. Might want to get probably right to this next zone where we could potentially buy it up. The overall trend is price basically just been consolidating and in between these zones for the most part. But I see a move and a pullback, a move and a pullback, a higher high, potentially a higher low. This was the previous low, a higher low here, and price could probably take back off and head all the way back up here to this zone here. But this would be 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, unless we get news that comes out. But for now, we could look for a potential setup because price just found support on this zone. So we're looking like we got a lot of nice setups on the AUD pairs so far. Looking at this zone here where price is, price came down, tried to break this zone, found support, made a move to the upside. You can see the previous support, previous resistance in the past on the day. Previous resistance over here, price broke it, never really gave us a retest of this resistance, and that could be what we're looking at right now. And so once we get that confirmation, we could potentially ride it back up to this next zone. And we could take it piece, 50 pips, or we could hop in for 100, but let's just wait and check it on the 4 hour before we say, let's take this up. All right. So AU so far, all the AUD pairs, we like them. BTC, USD, right now, I don't have this marked up, so I'm just going to bypass it. But just by looking at the chart, and I see this resistance here, I see this resistance. I see this resistance, and then price came up to this area, find support. Potentially, we could look for this to continue going up, at least to this high. But I don't have it marked up, so I don't wanna play around with it. Let's draw a trend line on this here. See if I extend this out to the left. I'll count this as another touch because we're looking at an area and not so much this one line. I'll do the same here for this resistance, same here for this resistance. So I kind of like this trend line, multiple touches. I like that for price to continue going up. But again, we are on the day chart. But I could see this continue going up at least to this high. All right, so I won't mark it. Not looking for a setup on it this week. Another pair that I don't have marked up right now. So I won't fool with it at all. I'll just bypass it altogether. So we're looking at CJ now. What I see is price approach this zone. You can see a lot of resistance, support. Price tried to come down here. I look at these zones as if you, when you were younger and you put your hand on the stove by mistake and you got burnt. When you go around that stove again, you kind of remember when you got burnt, and so you're kind of cautious when you come back to the stove or in the kitchen. You're cautious of the stove, and that's kind of what happened with these zones. Price came up, it moved away, didn't go back as high because I remember when it got burnt, came back, and this one here didn't come all the way down to the zone because I remember when it got burnt, it tried to go down here and it got burnt, so it didn't come all the way back down. So looking at this on the day, I'm looking at this area here where price is struggling. Price is struggling to break this level, right? Let me just remove these and let's go back in the past and see why price is stopping here. We're looking at this area. So we see these two candles here where price tried to go up and fail, and that's what kind of pushed price down. So this is resistance here, and this is support here. Some more resistance here, small resistance, but it's resistance nonetheless. Same thing here, it didn't touch it, but we know support and resistance is an area. Look back in the past, this nice long wick price tried to come down and fail, so we could look for this to go up this week, provided price doesn't bring this level here, so we can look for this to go up at least to this zone here. And even if we do a buy stop from here, that would be 180 pips, and that could happen overnight. So we're going to mark Chf Jpy because price is finding support here. We can also come and draw a trend line with these touches. I don't really like the extended, but I do see the support here, but I'm just going to remove the extend. Okay, so we got two touches on the trend line. That's enough for me to actually ride this up. We can go with a buy stop, but I want to see how it looks on the 4 hour before actually trying to enter this. So I'm just going to ride this here. just so I can know when I get to the fall, that's what I'm looking at. Chf Jpy, don't really have it marked up, but in the previous train I was doing the higher high, price breaking it, retesting, break, retest, break, no retest, but price found support here, went back up, found support again, broke it. So obviously I'll be looking for price to give me a retest either to these highs here or back up to this level that it broke and never retested before dropping again. All right. So I try not to predict the market. I want to react to it. So even if price comes to this area and breaks this level, I'm looking for price now to come back down and support before we ride back up again. So it's reacting to the market and not so much just trying to predict it. So EA, it basically just been consolidating, not really going anywhere, just kind of playing around in this area. So what I like to do is I want to draw a box around it to show the consolidation. Price found support, no retest, so it's still support down here, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, and now price is here. So what I would like to see is either price come back down, give us a retest here as resistance, and we can look to sell, or we can look for price to break this consolidation, come back down, find support, and when we find support, we can look to buy. All right. So no setup on EA, nothing concrete, and I know we're still on the day. Looking at this, I see touches on this trend line, price broke above, came back down, X marks the spot, previous support and previous resistance, price retested, price playing around this zone. So ultimately, I'm looking for two things to happen for price to either come out of this zone and give us a retest as support for us to buy it up, or for price to come out of the zone, retest, and then we can look to sell. So it's just a matter of reacting. I am going to mark ECAD because price is in the zone. That's a good place for price to be. EUR CHF. Basically just been consolidating as well. Price found resistance here. So I'm looking for price to break and retest, show me the floor so that I can buy. Or the same thing on the other side. I wouldn't want to play with this because it's been consolidating for a little while. Let's see how long. Each candle represents a day. So this is a lot of candles from July 15th to now. It's just been consolidating. So whenever this is actually ready, it's going to be a nice move. When we get down to the 4 hour, I can show you guys a little trick with the consolidation boxes. EUR GBP, I don't have anything marked up, but I can tell you guys what stands out to me. I'm looking at this area here where price found resistance, and I didn't put the line up top here because I saw where this market had a gap. So I placed it down here because I saw this happen here with the buy and the sell candle. And so when we look at what price is doing now, price came up, found resistance, and then did a small pullback, and the market gap down. So if I have to say a direction, and I don't like to, again, I don't like to try to predict the market or try to react to it, I would like to see price break and retest a certain level before I actually enter this setup. So that's a support level on the day. That's a support level on the day. And this is also a support level on the day. So looking at the day, when I go down to the 4 hour, it's going to kind of space them out a little to give us more room. So from line to line, that's 100 pips, 70 pips. So there's a lot of pips in between, right? I don't have it marked up, so I don't even want to trade it until I actually set it up and back test it just to see how strong the areas are. But it's clear as day that the support and resistance is you can see it on the chart. So I don't want to play with this right now because I don't have it marked up. EJ is still playing this zone from last week. just struggling. Ultimately, I want to see price either break this zone, retest, and then drop, or break above, give us a retest, and then ride it up. When we look at the overall trend, you can see the price was coming down, giving us lower lows, lower low, and then gave us a higher high over here, a pullback, a higher high. This could just be the pullback for us to ride it back up for another push from here, move on the pullback, move on the pullback, and then we can look to ride it up again. But let me just see something very quick. I can kind of look at this and see that this is longer. So I'm just cloning the lines. The pullback here, I just cloned it just to see how price was matched up to what it's doing now. So we can potentially see price come all the way back down, but why I don't want to look at it like that is because the moves, the push up to create the higher high, they aren't equal. If they were equal, I could expect the pullback to be equal, and I can look for price to make another equal move. So for right now, it's just a matter of breaking the zone, coming out of the zone, and retesting to show us which way it wants to go. EN, I don't really have EN marked up, but you guys can see the support, the resistance on this level where price is right now. Another resistance here, resistance. So we could see price drop back down here. I don't want to fool with EN right now because I don't have my zones on it. These are lines that I just placed there, so I don't even want to fool with it. Right now, I want to test again. So you guys can see a lot of what I do is repetition. Basically just waiting for price to break one of these zones and retest to show me which way price wants to go. Price broke this zone. It could come all the way down here to this zone. If I don't get a retest, I'm not going to trade it. We may get a retest on the 4 hour, but on the day right now, I don't have a retest, so I'm not going to fool with it. It's in the middle of my zone right now. We go down to the 4 hour. Boom, boom. This is a retest here, and price dropped, but price is in the middle of the zone, so we just not going to fool with it until probably Tuesday, Wednesday, later on in the week when price starts to move a little bit faster. You can see where price struggled to break this zone and then potentially ride up for the buy on the pullback. It just depends. So we just want to wait and see what the EU is doing before we actually jump in this. You can see price creating higher highs. We could wait for the pullback. If price comes all the way down to this zone here and find support, we could potentially buy it up later on this week or early next week. Just matter of waiting on what price is doing, waiting on price to show us. So this zone resistance, support, price open with a gap. I'm gonna just wait for Tuesday to let more candles print to give me more confirmation. So I am going to, I still gonna mark GA, still gonna mark it as well as EU, just for when we run back on the 4 hour to see if we see anything. Another gap here, another gap. So price can potentially go up. You guys can see the zone. See this zone where we have a lot of support and resistance here, support here again. Price was below it. Price broke the zone, never retested as the ceiling. Price went above. Let me clean this up. Price went above the zone, the green zone. Price went above the green zone, came back down, gave us a retest here in this area, and that's why price started to go up. This was a trade from last week, I believe, or a week before, but I already closed out the position. Price didn't really move much between last week, 2 weeks ago and last week. It didn't really move much, but we're on the day chart, so guess what? From this buy limit to this buy stop is 90 pips. GBP CHF is in the zone, so I'm going to mark it. You can wait for price to get out. Y'all kind of tell me what I'm waiting on now because it's just repetition. Waiting on price to come out, break the zone, retest, and then we look for the buy, or we wait for price to break out below, retest, and then we can look to sell. We had a break and a retest here. Price was consolidating. Price came down to the next zone. Moving on up. When we look at it at the 4 hour, we may get some confirmation. Break, retest, price went up, found resistance, broke. No retest, no trade. Right now, let's mark it. So when we look at the smaller time frame, it might give us the direction. But I can almost say that I expecting this to come back up to this area here. Just trying to get a picture of the overall trend. Down, boom, boom, boom. It's a kind of deep retracement here. We may get a long move to the upside, but it's just reacting to what price is doing. GN, price is at the zone, so we're going to mark it. Go in the market. GU, price is at the zone, a break and potential retest. We may could ride this down this week. We may could ride it down, but I want to see it on the 4 hour. So we look good right now. I tell you, having these zones on kind of make it easier for me to trade. I don't really have this marked up, but this is what I see. 2 touches on the trend line. Price gave us a higher high. The overall trend is down. So this could be a move. And this could just be the pullback for price to continue dropping down. But we want to make money this week. And so we're looking for a setup. This line here could potentially be our resistance point, where we can look for price to go up, find resistance, and then potentially drop down again. Probably get out of this support level. So, but I'm not going to mark it because I don't have my chart. I don't have the cheat code on my chart. So I'm not going to fool with it. NZD CHF, price broke, gave us a retest here, strong support. You guys see how price just came to the zone. Just came to the zone and then moved straight away. We could get the price to potentially go all the way up to this next zone here. But I'm just going to mark it. We can analyze a little bit more on the 4 hour. NZD Jpy. Price just broke this zone. Kind of struggling at in this area here. We can just place a line to see why price is stopping here. We go back, we can see the support. We see more support here, some resistance, and we could do this all day. But you don't necessarily have to. Price can find support here, but you know, if you guys already know, I want to see a break and retest before I jump in. So I'll miss all these pips here, just waiting on confirmation. No confirmation, no trade. Price can also continue to drop, give us a retest here, and then we know we sell it. Just a matter of waiting on price to show us what it wants to do. So I'm gonna mark that. NZD USD. So as my chart start jumping. NZD USD. The first thing I notice is this area of support right here, wick support, potential support here. I want to see where this candle closes tomorrow. It might give us an indication that price wants to do a change direction from coming down. It may want to go up and then continue dropping later on. So let's wait till tomorrow. Let more candles print, give us more confirmation. All right. So nothing on NU right now. Again, I don't really trade US30, but I like to analyze it. G cross up. I like to analyze it because it respects structure. You guys can look at the chart and see these levels of resistance turn to support. This would have been an awesome place for you to buy after you saw these wicks in the zone. That could have been a lot of pips you could have caught. Hardly any drawdown. Price came back to the zone, more support. Price broke it, came back down, tried to go up on this wick. This wick stopped it, and this would have been a good time to ride it down for a sell. Now, what I see right now is that price tried to come down and failed, tried to break the zone and failed, tried to break the zone and failed. So I would have been anticipating that price would turn around and start to go up after it was coming down. So if you guys hear me say turn around, it's just basically meaning the price is changing direction. Price was going up, found resistance, and turned around and started to go down. All right. So price is going down, found support here. You can see by these wicks, the price tried to break this zone and it made it move up. Now, to say where price is going right now, I really can't say because price already made its move and it may find resistance here. I am not in the business of trying to predict the market. I want to react to it. So I want to see how price react around this zone, right? If price comes in and gives us some wicks like it did here, it could be an indication that price is probably finding resistance, and then we can ride it back down. All right. So that's basically all I'm doing with these zones. Just looking to see how price react around them. Price will tell you what it wants to do, and we're just reacting to what it does. Same thing. See this resistance level here. I am not surprised the price came here on the same level, in the same area, to find support here to start to go up. I am not surprised. When you look at it in the past, more support, and I'm sure if I continue to go back, I may see at least one more touch, but not necessary. UCAD, good example, the price is struggling to break this zone, Price is struggling to go higher, and the wick is telling us the story. The wicks are telling us the price tried to go up and failed, I want to see where this candle closes because we can see that it tried to go up here. I actually want us to come a little bit higher and get to the zone and leave us a wick, and this would be a sure way to say, okay, let's hop in for a sell for a high probability setup, because we see the market telling us that it's trying to go up and fail and trying to go up and failing. You see all these wicks in this area right here. Price tried to go up and failed each time, tried to go up and it closed outside, tried to go up, closed outside, tried to go up and closed outside, tried to go up, closed. So if you see price struggling to go higher, but with all these wicks, it'll be a good time for you to hop in on a sell because price is finding resistance. You probably will get burned once or twice with the wicks, but you saw it and it was comfortable because you saw it, and that's why you took the setup, because you saw price struggling. Always use proper risk management. Always use proper risk management, and you'll be okay. All right. So we're gonna keep an eye on UCAD as well. USD CHF, I don't have it marked up. And UJ, I don't want to force the trend line. But let's let some more candles print on this before we actually pull the trigger. When we get to the 4 hour, it might show us something a little bit different and indicate a buy, a potential buy. But we finished with all the pairs for the most part. So now we can go take a look at the 4 hour. The silver, I'm trying to see why I placed this line here. You guys can see the support in the past, resistance in the past, and so price just made a move away. Not really trying to call any trades on it. Okay, so 4 hour time now. It's the money maker. Again, I'm still waiting on this break and retest, but I am expecting it to go up. because price is struggling to break these levels here. Again, if price does come below the zone, just wait for the retest here in this area, and then we can look to sell. You don't have to hop in a buy now, or just wait. The market's going to tell us what it wants to do. We can take it even further and go down some more and get a better picture. But I try not to overanalyze, and so I just stick with the 4 hour for now. No confirmation, no trading. I don't have a confirmation. So moving on. AUD CHF price approached this zone. Price approached this zone, found support, came back, moved away, came back down, kind of could place a trend line on it. That's kind of steep, but you guys can see the two touches. Market did open up with a gap. Right now, I'm not prepared to enter. I won't play that. I don't see this resistance area here. Just wait for more confirmation. Support resistance in the past, and that's why price stopped there. So as we break it down and go down to do a top-down analysis, we need to wait for a break and a retest, potentially buy it. Do not ignore this trend line that's here. Price can find resistance like it did here, support here. So we know that this trend line is a area that we would want to watch as well. So right now, no setup, but probably later on in the week, we'll get that confirmation for us to take it either way. All right. So no setup right now, and that's okay. No worries. Price broke this zone. I want to see where the next zone is. Okay. So I just want to place a line here to see why price stopped here. Use this area. Go back into the past. See this support here. Support. Resistance, resistance, resistance. And so this can be a good place for price to go back up to give us that confirmation for us to ride that back down again. Looking at it on the 4 hour, we've been seeing price create higher high, equal high, a higher high, right? But if we're looking at these as higher lows, price just gave us a lower low here, so we can wait for the pullback, and then we can ride it back down. But again, no confirmation. That's 150 pips to give us a pullback. We could put a buy stop on this. Could put a buy stop on this to ride it up. Buy stop. TP1, let's do it tight. Let's do 20 pips. Let's do 20 pips, so at least we get the profit. Make it a risk-free trade. Zoom out so we can see where is a good place to put TP2. And I'm looking at this support level here. And then TP3. TP3 at this support level here. This is a potential setup. My risk stop loss would go below these support levels here. So if I had to place a position on it, my stop loss would go about 50 pips, and I'm shooting for TP3 would be about 118, 120 pips, while I only risk in 50 pips or so. But I really want to wait for more confirmation. I can look at this on the hour. Let's take a look at it on the hour to see what price is doing. It's showing me the support. 20 minutes, this candle will close. I want to see if in 20 minutes, I'll probably come back on the charts and see if this finishes as an engulfing candle. That way we can get a buy limit on the body of this candle. might do a buy limit here when this candle closes. I don't want to set it now. I want to see where this candle actually closed first before setting this here at the buy limit to kind of cut down on our stop loss. We might get a tighter entry on it. All right, number 15. Boom, 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 boom. So TP1 is a good place on this setup right now. I'll share this chart, AJ, on the 4 hour. With these, you guys can look to the right to see where the take profits are, where the levels are. The red would be the stop loss. Buy stop would be this first blue one. Second blue one at TP1 would be here, TP2, TP3. Let's share this with you guys. AJ. Jpy. I believe that you guys can save the chat, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, you guys might save the chat so you can have the links after. Even if it's just for a learning opportunity, not so much you take in the setup. AN, I would like to see AN come back some more, come back down, so we can get a better entry closer to the zone to ride it back up. Also want to pay attention to these. I have a TP here, so I know it has support or resistance in the past at this level, and we have this support here. So nothing ready as yet, but if you don't want to miss the move, you know, you guys can always do a buy stop. Buy stop. I personally want to see price come back down, but I am anticipating it will continue rising this week. And then you can use the TPs from last week as the TPs for this week, TP1, TP2, and the zone will be TP3. But I'm not in love with this one, so I'm gonna just leave it for now. AU. AU, price struggle here. It did open up with a gap. We had the 9 o'clock candle close here. Nothing that really excites me right now because price closed on the outside of this zone here, and then we got a gap. I'm not a fan of gaps. Not a fan of gaps. So no setup on AU. Okay, I absolutely love this. 1, 2, 2 touches off of the zone. I'm just throw the fib on this right quick. In between the 71 and 78 is the go zone for me. So looking at the 4 hour, I do a buy stop here. I like even numbers, so if you see me set out like this, I like my entry probably be 79000. That's 20 pips away for the buy stop. TP1. I don't like to do TP1 too high away from entry, so that's 30 pips. TP1. TP2, I'm going to use this support level here as well as these support levels over here for TP2. And TP3, we just run into the zone. And just run TP3 to the zone. Settings, text, TP3. 52. Stop loss. Let's just take a look at this. This would be for 182 pip potential. I like 50 pips. I like 50 pips. 50 pip stop loss going for 180 pips. Even if my TP2 hits, I still like the risk to reward. That would be about 90 pips. But nonetheless, my risk to reward is bigger than my risk. So this is Chf Jpy. Chf Jpy, no setup right now. EA just been consolidating, we're waiting on price to move. ECAD is in the zone, no setup right now. We're waiting on price to get out of the zone, probably give us a retest and then ride it whichever direction. EUR, CHF, no move. No move. EJ, waiting on EJ to get out of the zone. EN, not really going to fool with it. If you want to look at it for what it is, price came down, broke these higher lows, gave us a lower low, lower high, and then price goes below here in the zone. If I had a zone here, it probably would have found support here and made a move up. It did give us a higher in the previous high, which is over here. We can look for price to probably come back down to this zone and then probably push up again before probably dropping again. But so no setup on EN. EU, let's let some more candles print that price get closer to the zone, give us a confirmation, no trade. GA is still struggling right here. Price didn't do a gap. This candle closed here and this one opened up here, so it's a nice gap. Price is in the zone. I want to see price get out, retest, and then we can look to buy, or price breaks below, gives us a retest, and then we can write it down. So no setup on GA. GCAD is showing me this right now, but I won't play blind to the fact that price is consolidating. Resistance, support, price broken, never gave us a retest, so it came back up, found resistance again, found support again. Has a gap happening right now. I don't want to play around with this. I like high probability, low risk setups. So wait for a retest, previous resistance, turn to support, and then we can look to ride it all the way up. Patience pays. We could catch potentially 460 pips if we just wait on this to break out and come down, or wait for price to break out down here, and then we ride it down. Probably won't be as much pips, but nonetheless, there's still a lot of pips, 230 pips. Just paying to be patient. GBP CHF is in the zone. We want price to get out of the zone first. So no setup. GJ is showing me, this is what I see when I look at GJ. I see these multiple touches along this trend line. I just extended left to see. Could be a flag forming. I don't normally trade flags. But when we look at a smaller time frame, as you can see the move and then a pullback, price may just be setting up to drop again. So no confirmation right now. There's too many touches on this trend line to see. Look at the overall move. put a parallel channel. I don't want to fool with it right now. It may do one more push up and then drop, but I don't see anything clear. So I don't want to put our money at risk. GN, a nice gap. I don't like gaps, but the zone is here. You see price break above, giving us support right here. We could see price potentially ride all the way back up to the zone. And for GN, that would be a lot of pips in a short period of time. 470 pips. 470 pips. Let's say we use this as our entry, 20 hours for 125, 70 is for 340. I could see this happening because of the support here on this line. See the support there, potential support here. Price can continue rising up. Put a fib on it. I promise you, I can't make this up. In between the 78 and the 71, this is where I expect price to go. So if you don't want to miss the move, you can always set a buy stop. You can give yourself some room, a buy stop here. TP1, TP2, TP3. If you don't want to miss the move. If you're waiting for confirmation, you will miss some moves, and that's why these pending orders are so helpful. Buy stop, TP1. This is my favorite. This is one of my favorite pairs. TP2 and TP3. This is how it played out last week. I think we went up from TP2 to TP3 for 100 pips. This is GN. GBP and DB. GU, I see a break and a retest here, but I also see consolidation. I see price struggling in this area, and we also had a gap. So I want price to show me which way it wants to go before I actually pull the trigger. So we might probably miss this whole week. Probably gonna miss it the whole week, because if it does break out and retest here, this may be too little pips to actually give me a good stop loss where my risk to reward is good. NCAD, nothing, I don't have it marked up. NZD CHF, looking at it for what it is. Break, retest, price came back down all the way to the zone. This is a resistance level here. I need more confirmation now because we didn't get it down here. I need price to break, retest, and then we can ride it up. Or get price to come back down to the zone. If price comes back down, we can see the support, resistance. This might be a better place to get in, but it's just a matter of reacting to what the market actually does. I would much prefer to see this happen, to give me that confirmation to take the setup and then ride it up. NJ. NJ looks a bit choppy right now for me. I do see the break and the retest up here. But let's wait for some more candles to print first before we pull the trigger on this. It's okay. It's okay if we don't get in here. The market has to do a pullback for us to make up. We can still catch it later, even if the market decides to start to drop here. If it comes all the way back down, and guess what? We still got to do a pullback, probably probably get in on this retest over here, and then we can catch this all the way down and still catch over 100 pips. So no worries if we miss this drop from here. We just want more confirmation. This price really just been dropping. I could see a pullback up to here first before price come out of the zone, retest here, and we might could get in up here at the zone and ride it all the way down the entire zone. But no setup right now. Again, no setup on NU. I do see 2 touches on this trend line where price was showing us support. Again, if you don't want to miss the move, you can always use a buy stop. Buy stop TP1 about 20 pips. TP2 would be here, and TP3 would be up here. But I'm not absolutely in love because I could still see price. I trade zone to zone, so if I see price stop here, I still would love to see price come back to the zone before I actually enter. We trade in zone to zone. So if you see price come from this zone, we're looking for it to go to the next zone. I just noticed the price stopped here. So I want to see if, okay, so it's in between. So no. Again, if you don't want to miss, you can set a buy stop and catch these pips up. Even if you don't get the TP3, you can get the TP1, 20 pips, TP2, about 60, but I am personally not going to take the setup. US 30, I won't be looking for a setup on it. UCAD, I see a standard double top. Standard double top where we could see this price try to come here, move the way it came back. It's a double top. We can see price dropping all the way back down. So sell stop, TP1, TP2, TP3. This is probably a high probability setup here. See price approach the zone, found resistance here, found support here. Probably a decent setup to do a sell stop here. TP1. TP2. I like this one. And TP3. I haven't checked to see if any high impact news this week. I really didn't, but a lot of touches on this trend line. This gap here, nice long wick. I won't play blind to this support level. I want to see price break below, retest, and then ride it down here. So no confirmation right now, but this is the whole week we're looking at. We can wait for this to play. This could happen Monday, Tuesday. This could happen tonight. We just want to see how it play out. So no setups right now. I mean, no setup on this right now. I think that is it. I won't trade silver and gold. And that's it. So we're looking at AJ. We're looking at AJ. AJ, we're looking to ride it up on a buy stop. Let's see where AJ is at now. AJ is within 10 pips of activating this trade. Chf Jpy, another buy stop. So that kind of works good because the JPY is in the back here as well as here. And I have the two of them to go as buy, so I like that. Probably not good for the Japanese yen, but we here to make money. GN, see the break and the retest, and now we're looking for price to activate our buy stuff and keep going. CAD JPY is still about 20 pips out, and GN, so that's AJ go blue, CJ go blue, and GN go blue. that I like for right now. Buy stop. That's a good bit of pips away. I would wait on the buy stuff to actually activate. If by Tuesday it doesn't activate, delete the order. Give it till about Tuesday. If you're not comfortable, don't enter it now. And everything is pending orders with all these. All these are pending orders. Buy stop, buy stop, buy stop. No market execution. All right. So, that's all I got. That's all I got tonight, and I hope that you guys gain value and actually can find a setup. Uh-oh. All right. So you guys have a great night and enjoy your week. Let's get them pips. Okay. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Jamal. Blessed week to you.
Thank you. Thank you.